I've recently found 3 directory sites that are around professional services. They're actually for sale, so I want to walk you through what those look like. Hopefully it'll give you some ideas of what you can do with your own directory sites, as well as we'll look at like how they're monetizing and how I think they could do things better. All right, let's start right in with the first one here. It is a relationship coach directory. It is for sale for around $17,000 USD. What's interesting about this one and why it caught my eye is it says it is a multi-revenue stream business. It is interesting to see here that it's only 10 months old and it's already making money. It's estimated here just under 200 pounds a month. So I don't know what the exchange rate actually is right now with USD, but over $200 a month, it's safe to say. Okay, so let's see here. Great domain name, relationshipcoachdirectory.com. What do we have here? 29,000 coaches on it, 14,000 US potential clients for the coaches, and a business plan to grow a site to $5,000 a month revenue in 3 to 6 months. Just as a sidebar, if you are looking to buy a directory site to work on yourself versus starting one from scratch, do not fall prey to the potential of a site. It's great that this person made this business plan, and it may include things that maybe whoever the buyers would not think of, but never buy a site based on a potential. Just wanted to throw that out there as someone who has bought and sold a lot of sites, over the last 10 to 15 years. Okay, so also a social media plan for free promotion, email templates for membership sales. So we can see immediately that this is one of the ways this site is clearly making money is going to be membership sales. Let's just expand this here. 2 hours a week to run. Multiple revenue streams available. So that is something that is worth noting here. It says available, but not necessarily active, right? Coaching, subscriptions, advertising, etc. Again, we have this potential being sold here for this particular site. We built the site to sell it once we had proven the concept. The site will make money from the following: annual listings at $300 a year, referrals to coaches at 30% commission, and advertising. So that's going to be something like Mediavine Journey, regular Mediavine, AdSense, Ezoic, Raptive. Okay, let's see here if this site, it says it's making money. I don't know how it's only $189 a month when the listings they have here are 300. Looks like it started making money in August of 2024, so it has it making money almost immediately, which quite honestly is a little suspicious, right? Monetization methods, services, and subscriptions. Let's see what the screenshot is we have here. So this seems to be paid listings. We can see who has signed up to have their listing, I assume, made like exclusive or featured or something like that. Go ahead and close this screen. No comments yet. So let's go ahead and jump over and look at the site. Like I said, it is a good domain name because it's an EMD here, or Relationship Coach Directory. When I looked at this earlier, I thought it looked really nice, right? It's very clean. Looks like a very professional design. It's not cluttered or anything like that. I assume this Tim Smith here is one of the people who has paid for the listing. A simple how it works section here. Featured coaches. Again, these are probably the people who were in that little screenshot showing us how the site has already made some money. Let's just look at one of the listings here, see what it looks like. Okay, so it's got some great user stuff in here where we can favorite this. If we're looking for a relationship coach, we've got the address over here. So this is interesting because this is in Canada, so it's not a US specific directory. Looks like maybe we let the relationship coach write this. Socials, can't really see where this goes. Okay, so it's just sharing it's sharing this particular page. This website seems to be this particular relationship coach's page. Looks like she has coaching sessions with no price listed, and people can leave a review. So I mean, this is pretty nice, right? It's very simple, but it's really nice. See a $sign here because that's just that. Let's see what happens. Here we go. Pricing for coaches. So standard membership $300 annually, lifetime $695. I don't know how we had the 800 pounds. I assume the price may have been different when this site was first done. So seems, like I said, it seems really nice. The newsletter feature here is interesting. I would be curious to know, who is this newsletter going to? Is this newsletter going to the relationship coaches, or is this newsletter going to, just normal people who are looking for a relationship coach? Looks like we got here, why relationship coaching. So no real blog. We have a problem here with this URL, though. You can see this is the third version of something that has this URL. Let's see if the other two happen to be indexed. Oh, this is definitely a problem because we're having the same stuff. Actually, that won't just be like that. Yeah, that's problematic. That's something you need to watch for when you are making your site. If you are using WordPress, anytime you end up with the little dash and then a number at the end of a URL, it means something else already has that URL. And like I said, you don't want the duplicate information. This isn't even the exact same content, is it? No. So this is obviously AI content too. You can tell from the structure of it. But that's neither here nor there. So like I said, it looks really clean. Whenever I come across a directory site that I really like the look of, I always want to know, especially if they're running WordPress, what theme are they using? The easiest way to do that is to view the page source code, which I don't know if you saw what I did there, but you right click and then you just, if you're in Chrome that is, and just click view page source. You can also do it from the view menu up top here under developer and then view source. Okay, let's pop back to that and let's just have a look here to see what theme they're using. So DT10, so Premium Press themes. I've actually never heard of Premium Press themes. So let's see if we can copy that. Do a search for it, see what this theme is all about. It may be a theme that is specific for, directory sites. It may not be. I see this site's also using Elementor. Okay, Premium Press themes, 200 plus themes. What do we got here? Directory theme, here it is. So it is a theme that is designed specifically for directory sites. Hey, it's on sale as I'm recording this. So yeah, if you really enjoy the design of this particular website, you can see that this theme is designed for directories. It's not something I've ever used, so I can't vouch for it, but now we know it exists, right? So like I said, I always like to see what theme a site is running, just so, maybe I want to change up, how I'm building my sites. I tend to use the Cadence theme a lot on WordPress, but it doesn't have any type of native directory, type of style in it, which if you watched my video on can I build a directory site using Cadence's AI starter site, you will already know that you cannot actually do that. Okay, the next directory site here on Flippa, and you'll notice these are all going to look kind of similar because it's actually the same guy who has these 3 sites up for sale. This one's a mindset coach directory, which is a really interesting niche, I feel like. Just like the relationship coach one, I feel like these are not the normal professional services directory sites that most people are thinking of, right? I think if we're thinking of professional services, we're going to have people doing things like chiropractorsnearme.com, What else? Maybe something like nailsalonsnearme.com. So not this type of stuff. So this is really interesting, I feel like, what this guy has chosen for his directory sites. Both because I assume there are things that get, a pretty decent amount of searches each month, but also they're a little outside the norm, so there's not going to be a ton of competition. Of course, now that I'm pointing out these sites, I suspect there will be a bit more competition for them. Okay, so this Mindset Coach directory, it is making a little more money each month. Listed for sale, though, I think it's the same amount. Let's pop back over to the first one. 12,500 pounds. Yeah, so listed for sale for the same amount. However, it is earning a bit more average per month here. Just under 400 pounds per month, which of course will be somewhere over 400 USD, possibly even 500. Like I said, I don't know the current exchange rate. And of course, it will change depending on when you're watching this. So again, great domain name, even though we have a typo right here in this description. mindsetcoachdirectory.com. Again, do not ever buy a site based on potential. What do we have here? I suspect this one is the same age as the other one, about 10 months. Did we already come up? Yes, 10 months old. What do we have here? 2 hours a week to run again. Same basic business plan, it looks like, with this one as well. $300 a year annual listings, commissions for referring people. Of course, then you have to keep up with sending leads to people. I don't know that that's something most people actually want to deal with. And then you are kind of straddling the line between a rank and rent site as well as a directory site. Okay, let's see here. This one started also making money in August, which again I find a little suspicious, but maybe it did, maybe it did. So this one says ads and subscription services. So I have an ad blocker on, so when we look at the site, we'll have to see if any ads are being blocked. Let's pop up here and open this site. Okay, you can see looks pretty much identical to the other one because it's the same theme, right? So yeah, not really any differences at all here that I'm noticing. It's almost like this guy made a site, duplicated it to another domain, and then did like a Control F. I think we have the same person here, don't we? I just noticed this. We do. That's interesting. Kind of makes me wonder if any of these listings are real, right? But, maybe this chick is a relationship coach and a mindset coach. This chick too, though. Anyways, maybe I'm showing you a directory that's a fake directory. I don't know. Let's see here. So we do not have the $sign here, which is interesting. Same pricing page. I'm going to assume $300, $695. Yes. Let's go ahead and jump to the third one, because what I want to do is I want to show you if any of these sites are getting traffic or not, as well as I want to show you how to check traffic using Ahrefs for free, just because it's so expensive and you don't actually have to pay for it to check the traffic of a site. Okay, so the third site from this guy focuses on nutritionists, and it is making considerably more, average 882 pounds a month. I would guess that's somewhere around 1,000 USD. It is listed for sale for a little over 22,000 USD. Again, 10 months old. This one's actually showing some page views. I don't think the others were showing any traffic, were they? No, that one is not, and neither is that one. It's not surprising to see that this one has traffic since it does have more revenue, it appears. Again, potential. What else do we have here? 2 hours a week to run. Selling the listings for the same amount. So it's saying 58 monthly visitors, which contradicts the number above. Yeah. We'll look at that in Ahrefs in a minute though. So this one didn't start earning money until October of 2024. That's a little better. So we're actually losing money in the beginning, which should have been what was happening with the other two as well. We've got Google Analytics here showing some actual traffic. Okay. And we have actual data from Google Analytics, which is good to see. And I just remembered I forgot on the last domain to see if it was running any ads. So let's see here. Ad blocking is enabled, but it doesn't appear that there are any actual ads. Okay, so let me pop back up here. We'll get the URL, check out this site, and then I will show you how to check the traffic in Ahrefs for free, which you just get a preview of when I clicked on it accidentally. So here we are again with a URL issue with this site. Clearly there's going to be two index pages that are identical, if not practically identical. The weird thing is this looks like that wasn't the home page, so that's really bizarre. So yeah, so here is the first version of this page, which looks quite different. You can see a different pricing listed here as well. And I suspect if we look at the live version of the page, the actual home page, not this hidden page that we've discovered, we're going to see a different amount for these memberships, which explains what I was touching on earlier as to why does the already earned revenue differ from the current pricing, because it just wasn't adding up. And like I suspected, he was clearly charging a lower rate from the beginning. Okay, so let's go to the home page. Okay, so for some reason, the home page is, let's see if we can do this. Okay, for whatever reason, this person has redirected the home page to this duplicate Nutritionist directory URL, which has a -2 behind it. This is terrible. Honestly, I'm surprised that this site is getting any traffic. I take this as an amazing sign to enter into this particular niche. If you're looking for a directory topic for, you want to do professional services, this is it clearly. Because if this guy is getting traffic with this kind of fuck up going on with the architecture of the website, that's a great sign. So I do like this by state. It reminds me a lot of Freychu's Discover Plasma site. This is actually the way I build all of my directory sites that are US based as well. Just because as a user, I like being able to see this and going directly to what I need. So very similar here. And instead of having a bunch of different profiles of nutritionists like on his other two sites that are for sale, we have blog posts, it looks like. So this one, like I said, it's the same theme, but it looks a little different. The design is a little different. Let's see what pricing page we end up at for this one. Okay, so now we're getting into the page that we were on before with this pricing. I guess he's just decided on a different level of pricing for this particular site. Still quite curious. Let's see if we've got any ads showing. So that we do have ads showing on this. Let's pause on this site we'll just do it for an hour. Reload the page, see if we can see where these ads are. Did that close? None on this page showing up. Now we did have those blog posts that were showing up somewhere. Let's find those and see if we have any ads showing up on those articles. Okay, let's see here. I'm not seeing any ads, and I've turned off my ad blocker, so I'm not really sure why the ads aren't populating, because it was clear that there was some Google ad code detected. So this is what the blog looks like clearly for this particular theme. I don't like the colored sidebars here. It looks very like 1998 blogging. So if you are considering, purchasing this theme that we discovered, that's what the blog looks like. So just so you know. Now let me show you how you can check the traffic of any website on Ahrefs for free, no account needed. So let me just copy this URL here. I'm just copying the regular URL because I do not know why it is set up like this. Okay, so Ahrefs has several free tools that you can use. One of them just happens to be the website traffic checker. Now, tools like this are notorious for underestimating your traffic. Just me personally in the past, I've had sites where Ahrefs had says, maybe it gets like 500, monthly page views, and then the reality is it gets thousands. A good rule of thumb, I think, is to 3x whatever you see listed in Ahrefs or any other tool, SEMrush, anything like that. And that will get you closer to the reality of what the traffic actually looks like. Of course, that doesn't take into account things like social traffic. That's just something to keep in mind. So you can see the URL here. It's just ahrefs.com/traffic-checker. We will pop in this nutritionist directory, check the traffic. Says it's getting 0, which is curious. Especially since we saw that it was, and we're getting the subdomains and everything, so that's interesting. Let's look at the Mindset Coach website. See what it shows. No traffic. And the final site, we'll see if it's showing anything in Ahrefs. What I'm most curious about, though, is the Nutritionist site showing traffic on Flippa from Google Analytics, but not on Ahrefs. Okay, so it looks like we're not showing any of these sites getting traffic, which is really amazing since they're all supposedly making money, right? Let me get logged into SEMrush real quick, and because I want to run the Nutritionist site in it and see if it's showing anything different. Okay, got this coming up in SEMrush. No traffic. No traffic ever. That is really interesting simply because on the Flippa listing here, we have Google Analytics verified. Let's scroll down to where that might be. Google Analytics data, which it only goes through May 25th. But I mean, we're showing real page views here. This is, Flippa verifies this. Let's see, top channel is direct, which often Pinterest comes up as direct traffic, but it could also be bots. So for organic search, only 10. And I'm assuming this is for all time since that's what this graph up here is for. So unless this, and this had 2 keywords at the time that this, I'm going to say unless any of these sites honestly are getting traffic from social, this isn't real traffic. And these are probably not real sales. Unless the guy did outreach, like cold email or something like that to try to sell the spots. Definitely something that I was not expecting, quite honestly, when I picked these 3 sites to look at. So maybe Nutritionist is not a great directory topic because it looks like he wasn't actually getting any real traffic. So I apologize if you've already ran off with that idea and bought a domain name. But hopefully looking at these 3 sites, though, gives you like more ideas. Like, you don't have to just do things like chiropractors or just nail salons. It can be things like, say, relationship coaches who are maybe meeting people over Zoom and don't have actual offices, things like that. I suspect the same is true for, a mindset coach. So try to think outside the box like that for the types of directories that you're going to build. Because if there are things like that people are searching for, even if they don't have physical offices that people can go to, I still think you can make money from, a directory site like this. I was expecting to see that these sites were going to have, at least Google AdSense on them at a minimum, as well as, the subscription stuff. The referral fee affiliate style stuff is an interesting way to go. Me personally, though, I wouldn't want to have to keep track of that and making sure I got paid by people. So that's not something that I would choose to go after. But it's something you could, look into if that is something that kind of meets your needs. I think if I had these particular domains too, I think I would have another monetization stream, which is I would either write it myself after doing research or find someone else who is knowledgeable on the topic and hire them to be a ghostwriter. And I would have an ebook that I could sell on here targeting the people who need a relationship coach, right? Easy revenue stream. Find somebody who can maybe do a course for you that you can sell on here too. That way you are getting, revenue from the professionals as well as the consumers, right? Same thing here with the mindset coach. Why not? Why wouldn't you put an ebook for sale, some type of course for sale, or for either of these, find, courses or ebooks that already exist with a good affiliate offer so that you can sell someone else's stuff and get paid that way. For nutritionists here, I suspect you could do the same. You could probably even sell recipe books on here targeting different nutritional profiles, things like that. Basically, you don't have to stick with just selling listings or just running AdSense ads. These are other ways you could basically monetize a directory site like this. I think that's all that I really prepared for you for looking at these 3 sites. Like I said, I didn't really expect to discover that they're possibly fake directory sites with no real traffic. But hopefully this has still been helpful for you. Like I said, and kind of giving you some ideas a little outside the box of what you can build a directory on, as well as how you can monetize it, like I said, beyond, sponsored listings and display ads. If you have any questions for me, go ahead, feel free to drop those in the comments below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching.